Hi, my name's Mike DePlata. I'm Design Director at Monolith on Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, and this is Expert Showcase Special Edition. So what was really important to us in developing the tone of the game was to be extremely authentic to Tolkien's writing and to Middle-earth. Even Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, they're not simple black and white tales of good and evil. It's very, very authentic to Tolkien not to treat this as some simple black and white fairy story of good guys and bad guys, but to really go in and explore the themes of power and using the weapons of the enemy against him, and of where that's going to lead and where that's going to take Talion as well. Our game world doesn't really work like any of the other game worlds you might have played before. And the reason for that is the Nemesis System. So the world itself is a little bit different because it actually is a simulation of Uruk society. You're behind enemy lines within Mordor. Every single enemy is truly going about living their own life. They're going on missions, they're fighting to the death, they're trying to move up. So we don't just have a bunch of traditional side missions or missions in the world. The missions are getting constantly created by the interactions of the Nemesis System. You're basically the rock that gets dropped into that pond, and everything you do is going to ripple out through that simulation and through that world. Whether you kill these guys, you bend them to your will, you turn them against each other. The world itself is very different, so that lets you manipulate it in very new ways. It's not all dark and hopeless as well. There have to be rays of light shining through the darkness, and there have to be other characters that you can meet and interact with. And Mordor at this particular time provides a lot of opportunities for us to do that. Sauron's been absent for 2 millennia, he's only just returned. So there's people living there who are now getting enslaved under the heel of Sauron's forces, and of course, as you're helping them, saving them, that's going to create friendships and alliances. A lot of different surprises and characters and friends that you're going to meet. We have a little bit of a combination of a challenge mode and a horde mode, but it's very, very unique to us again because of the Nemesis system. What we can do, because we have this process where we can create literally infinite different possibilities of boss fights and enemies, we can use that to create a challenge mode where we can actually craft very specific challenges and enemies and levels of difficulty. We can have a scoring system where we can track how fast do you take these guys down, how do you defeat them, and generate a score out of that, and then give you leaderboards so you can measure how you're doing and track that against your friends and so on. And that's probably one of the key parts of our Dark Ranger pre-order bonus as well. So it's another good question. Thank you, Rancor88. It's an interesting question. What are the favorite RPG elements? So I kind of want to just preface that a bit by saying we're definitely an action game, but progression and upgrades and growing your power is a really important part of the game as well. In particular, the weapons. It's not a traditional loot system where you're just sort of swapping out weapons, swapping out pieces of armor. You have one sword, one dagger, one bow that you carry throughout the whole game, but each of those weapons is truly going to become legendary, and you're going to be writing the story of your achievements, and you're going to be sort of carving your own legend onto the blade. And the way that we do that, every one of those kills of those Nemesis enemies is going to drop a rune, and then those runes you can carve them onto your weapons and really make each one of them unique for every player. Empire Strikes Back, Big Trouble in Little China, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Actually, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, that's probably my number one. So Shadow of Mordor is coming out on October the 7th, so mark your calendars for that one, and pre-orders are available now. You'll be able to see more of the game constantly between now and release. We've got all sorts of things planned, but even while you're waiting, you can see more of the game now. In particular, I'd really suggest going and having a look at our 8-minute gameplay preview, which is a pretty good little slice of the Nemesis system and a little bit of an exploration of Mordor. A huge thank you to the Shadow of Mordor community for all of your questions, and please subscribe to the Shadow of Mordor YouTube channel to see all of the latest videos and in particular the new gameplay video that's up there now.